Have you ever given serious, quiet thought about what comes next? Well, America Weekend does. It starts right now.
America Weekend.
Welcome to America Weekend. I'm Ed Kalengi. As always, very happy that you can be here for this hour of the show. Christina Staffo will join us in a few moments, and this is a very special hour with a very, very special guest. We have never done anything like this on this show in, the year and few months that we've been on. Christina came up to me a couple of months ago and said, here's an idea. Why don't we have a medium on the show? And I never really gave it any thought. I never really thought about that type of stuff. I never went for a psychic reading. I'm not big into astrology. I haven't read my horoscope in years and years because who really even picks up a newspaper anymore? But that's besides the point. So her idea was to bring a certain person onto the show. And the more I heard about this, the more I liked it. The man's name is Mark Eadicicco. He's based in New York City. He's a renowned psychic, medium, and witch. And I went into this with an open mind. I didn't know what to expect, and I walked away amazed, as you will hear. Christina and I will offer ourselves up as subjects for Mark to display his work. We're going to learn first about how he learned that he has this gift, that he calls it. He was 3. He's now 40. He has now done readings for people not only all over the country, but all around the world. He's a fascinating guy when you really listen to him and you get to know him a little bit. But what really got to me, and you're going to hear this hour, Mark told me things about myself and about people who are supposedly guiding me spiritually that he would not know about unless he spoke to me beforehand or to maybe only 1 or 2 members of my family. And that's it. Now, you can go to Google and you can Google me and 25 to 30,000 things come up, but what he told me is not out there anywhere. And I walked away from this believing that the guy knows his stuff and can do what he says he can do. And he even then does a reading for Christina. And she learned some things as well. So this is a world-renowned medium, psychic, and witch, and those things all mean different things. We're going to talk to him about what those things all mean. My reaction was one, my jaw almost hit the floor while I was sitting in the chair here at the console. So it's going to be interesting. So you know what? You can't come into this prejudiced. You can't come in and think, this is ridiculous. This is a joke. You don't know. Do we really know what comes next? Do we know what's out there? Seriously. I get a kick out of these people. We walked out of the oceans millions and millions of years ago. We were one cell and we turned into a fish. Then we turned into a frog. Then we turned into an ape. Then we turned into a person. I don't know. Nobody really knows for sure. But when you really take a look at how the human body is constructed, the male and the female, and how everything takes place to keep the masses going and to keep the populations going, and people talk about intelligent design. Well, was this whole thing just a fluke? Really? And people have asked for years and years and years, millions of years, what happens next? Where do we go? When we die, do we really die? Or do we just move on somewhere else? And the next hour may help you kind of figure that out a little bit. So suspend any kind of prejudices that you have and believe just for a little while as we offer ourselves up as subjects. Mark Eadicicco is next. This is America Weekend, and I'm Ed Kalengi.
America Weekend. America Weekend. Oh,
Welcome back to America Weekend. I'm Ed Kalengi.
I'm Christina Stoffa.
Our next guest is one of the most renowned psychics, witches, and mediums in the New York City area, and he is now making a stir by providing phone readings to clients from all over the country and all around the world. It is a pleasure to say hello to Mark Eadicicco. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is a lot of fun. We are very excited about this. We have never had a psychic or a medium on the show before, so this is new ground for us, and it's something that we always wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really groundbreaking thing here.
I think so. This is an amazing talent and ability that you have. Tell us how this all started for you.
Okay, well, actually, it started for me when I was at the age of 3. And I just turned 40.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for quite a while, for probably about 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is that my mom, before she passed away, she had the talent and the ability as well. So, normally, if your child comes to you and says, I see a man in front of me, or, there's an apparition around, not a lot of parents believe it.
Sure.
In my case, it was quite different, and my mom helped me go with it, so to speak.
So is that what happened to you at 3 years old? You saw somebody in the corner and you were like, okay, what am I looking at right now?
Well, the strangest story was I never met my real grandfather.
Okay.
He had passed when my mom was 9. So we're talking 20-something years later, she had me.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm going to bed one night. I'm 3 years old, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. Because it's something you don't forget.
Sure,
of course
not.
And, when I was younger, I used to always have to sleep with a TV on. And one night I heard something, so, we get curious, and I popped my head up, and there was a man standing at the end of my bed. But he was transparent that I could actually see through him.
Uh-huh.
So
Wow.
I could see what was going on with the television as well. Ran to my mom's room. By the time, my first initial reaction is there's a man in my room,
Mm-hmm.
not a spirit or a ghost, because at 3 I'm not thinking that way.
Right.
She comes in. There was nothing around at that time. We start talking. The next day, she shows me a picture of her dad, and it was him.
Oh,
because
wow.
I explained what the man looked like, even the way he was buried, the tuxedo.
Wow.
And I knew nothing about, what 3-year-old knows about a tuxedo.
Right, you
course.
don't. You don't know.
Color carnation that you buried him in.
Exactly. And that is such a heavy thing for a 3-year-old to be able to deal with and digest and process. Was it difficult for you to kind of then understand the gift that you had? How did it make you feel? Yeah, you were only 3, but how did that really make you feel at that time that then you see somebody that had passed that you never saw before, that you never knew? I mean, that had to be so much you had to process at one time.
Honestly, and I thank my lucky stars every day that I had a mother that knew what she was doing, that I was able to ask questions to.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually she brought me to my teacher, Lori Cabot, who's the official witch of Salem.
Okay.
And she helped me develop my gifts even more.
Is it something that you have to hone in on? You're 3, you're seeing your dead grandfather, but now at 40, you're able to control it.
Now, because I do so many readings, it's like second nature, so I can actually turn it off at night.
Okay.
For a while, I wasn't able to turn it off, so I would have panic attacks.
Wow.
So was it just people just trying, you just hear voices, or you just see a lot of things? You're able to turn it off now. So are you hearing things?
A lot of times, if a client comes to me, either I'll physically see it, or sometimes my spirit guide will show me something that relates to my life that would relate to their life. If somebody shows me my mom in a hospital gown, I know that the person died of lung cancer.
Oh, gotcha.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's a lot of signs and symbols that I call it psychic charades that you kind of put together, and the client has to be very open and work with you because, it's a science, but at the same time, if you're working with me, we're going to get amazing reading done.
When did you start to let the outside world, outside of your family, know that you had this ability? Was it when you were a kid? Was it when you were a teenager? Maybe your early 20s? When did you finally start to reach out to your circle of friends and say, hey, I've got this amazing ability?
I would actually say when I started reading tarot cards around 14, because then, you had no choice because you want to publicize yourself. You want to let people know.
Sure.
And then at that time, not a lot of people want to go to a 14-year-old for advice.
Right.
Even though,
Sure.
a lot of it's I channel a lot of the stuff, but still, you don't want to sit there if you're 40 and get advice from a 14-year-old.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But now as time goes by, with the shop and everything, thank God, I have my steady clients, I have new clients. It's really been a blessing, I have to say.
What was the reaction of the kids in school and to your friends at 14, at 16, at 18? What was their reaction to your ability? And did you find yourself becoming closer with friends because they felt they could confide in you in a way that really other people couldn't?
At that time, you know how kids could be.
Sure.
Yeah,
Kids
sure.
could be cruel.
Yep.
So they used to call me Eddie Munster.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Yeah. And
That's
I
terrible.
look back now and I say, you know what? I have a shop that's very successful
That's
for
right.
the last 10 years.
Exactly. That's
You
right.
know, I
Yeah.
do media events, I do charity events, and look who's Eddie Munster now.
Exactly.
You know what?
Who's
Here's a
laughing last?
Has anybody from your past, from back then, that maybe had a snide remark, has any of them ever showed up as a client now?
Absolutely.
Of course they have. Of course
See
they
that?
have.
Absolutely.
You were talking about your spirit guide. Obviously, everyone has a spirit guide. Is that right? So
Every one of us.
Every one of us. So what exactly is that?
Well, actually, we have many spirit guides.
Okay.
And the way that I channel it is that when we're first born, we're born with a master spirit guide. And that guide stays with us throughout our life. Kind of just guides us through. We always have free will. That's why we're actually here to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We had to get it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people die around us, then they also become our spirit guides.
Interesting.
So, I feel like I have my master spirit guide, and then I have my mom, which actually, the weird thing is, Thursday is her anniversary of her passing, this Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just feel her energy stronger and stronger. Usually as time goes by and an anniversary comes up, a birthday or a wedding, I'll feel the energy stronger because she wants to let the person know that she's still around.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe in reincarnation, but I feel it takes longer than what many people say. So that's why I think our loved ones stay with us through these years.
Your work must be very reassuring to a lot of people because what you're saying is that the family connection never dies. The physical body dies, but they're always with us, and they become, the spirit shield around us, and they continue to feed upon us, and we feed upon them for energy and for reassurance. That is very comforting, and I would imagine that a lot of your clients walk out of your shop feeling very reassured and just very calm by what you're able to tell them.
With my attitude, because I also have a partner, Richie, and we say good cop, bad cop, because I'm very tough. I'm very in your face when I read.
I've actually had the pleasure of being read by Mark, and he is very blunt, but that's what you want. You don't want,
Sure.
if you're going to a psychic, and what I want to talk to you about, Mark, is the difference between a psychic reading and a medium reading, because you asked me, do you want psychic or medium? I said psychic, but then my grandparents started bleeding through. You don't want a psychic to sugarcoat anything. You're going there for something real. You're going there for information, and you don't want it sugar-coated.
Right.
So when I went to Mark for my reading, I was getting my psychic reading, do. All of a sudden, he stops and he goes, I know you didn't want a medium reading, but your grandmother is so coming through right now. And my grandmother started talking about her ashes, which was very, very weird because my mother and I were very upset because we couldn't get her ashes from Vegas to New York. She doesn't care where your ashes are. Now, Mark, what I wanted to tell you is that then you also started telling me about my grandfather who had come through and was pointing at his wrist. You kept saying, was he leaving you a watch or a piece of jewelry? He keeps pointing at his wrist. A week before my father passed away, he reached out to my mother and said, I found this beautiful bracelet.
Wow.
That
You're kidding.
I swear to God. And all I could think about was Mark
The
said
reading.
it.
Yeah.
The reading. Everything that you said in our reading the last time actually came true and happens. So for anyone listening to this right now, this guy is 100% legit, and he is Staffo tested and approved.
He is the real deal. All right. So now we both have you here. We are very open to whatever you want to say, and whatever you want to do is fine with us because I find this fascinating. So stay with us. We're coming up on a break that we have to take. More with the amazing Mark Eadicicco coming up. I'm Ed Kalengi along with Christina Staffo, and this is America Weekend from the Envision Radio Network.
America Weekend.
'Cause it's witchcraft, wicked witchcraft.
Welcome back to America Weekend. I'm Ed Kalengi, joined by Christina Staffo, and we continue our very interesting conversation with medium, psychic, and witch Mark Eadicicco. The floor is yours, my friend. We are both here, and we would love to sit here now almost as pseudo-clients. Let's pretend we're in your shop in Staten Island, but we're doing it in front of 65 cities across the country, but that's okay. So,
Right.
All right, so take us through this. Use us right now. Let's show the world how you do your work.
Okay, Ed, can I have your astrology sign?
I am a Taurus.
Okay, so you're a Taurus, and to me, the energy that I'm getting too right from the bat is that I feel like there's been a lot of change going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I say change, I feel like career is very stable for you. I feel like things are going to start to move. But at the same time, I feel there's going to be different projects coming up for you. So is it a lot of what you do all in the entertainment field?
Yes.
Okay. Because they show me how artistic you are and how stubborn you are, okay?
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Remember, ego is not a dirty word.
Okay.
But what I'm seeing, too, is I want to talk about the month of February because they're showing me my spirit guide is actually flashing the number 2 in my face. I'm going to talk about how I feel that there's going to be major changes or projects that are going to be that you've been waiting for that are coming to fruition in February.
Okay.
Now, is there 2 different projects that you've been waiting for? Because they're throwing the number 2 at me, and when they keep doing that over and over, that 2 has to be very significant.
Yeah, there are 2. There's one major project that we're working on right now, but there is a sub-project around that as well that kind of dovetails with it. So I can definitely understand why the 2 is flashing for you.
With the same subject?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wow.
All right. You're going to get this. You're definitely going to get this. And they're talking about... and remember this, because they're showing me like Pisces, so that's in my February energy.
Mm-hmm.
Carry a piece of amethyst with you. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up your crown chakra and the people that you meet, because I feel like you're doing a lot of business proposals
Yes.
as well. And in this business, it's a lot of contracts that you're going to be signing.
Yes.
And I feel like there's more contracts coming up with this particular... I don't want to really get, on the air with your business.
Mm-hmm.
Your little endeavor is going to become a bigger endeavor from what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right?
Wow.
And it just means that this is a validation, something that I would never know. You have a guide that's with you as well.
Okay.
That passed.
Okay.
Who's the C? Okay, let me see if this is male or female. I want to say more of a male energy.
Mm-hmm.
C initial.
I had my father's uncle, who he was very close with. His first name was Carl, and he lived in Florida.
Okay, don't give me too much. He lived in Florida.
Yes, he did.
Perfect. Don't give me too much. Is there a connection to this month or the month of October or 10 surrounding him as well? Because they're showing me, again, with the flashcards. See, I'm very good with numbers, and I'm very good with time frames.
He died in October.
He passed in October?
Yes.
I'm sorry for that, but I almost want to say more towards the later half.
If I remember correctly, yes. It's been about 10, 12 years, but it was towards the end of October.
Okay. Because what happens is with you is that's one of your spirit. That's one of your spirit guides, and he stands behind you. He stands behind you on your right side with the call energy, because they're talking to me about. See, a lot of times they'll just show me initials.
Mm-hmm.
I always say spirit doesn't have to validate a name for me.
Okay.
As long as they give me something that the person I'm reading is going to know, because he's saluting me. So that also means that he either served in the Army or he served our country.
He did in World War II.
If you would know this.
Yes, he did. He served in World War II.
Please know that he is right there with you. That's your protector.
Wow.
So that's when you're doing your work and you're talking about your expansion and even ideas, because you know what? You got to keep the ideas that you have. Now, the project is between you and Christina?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the two of you, honestly, what I'm getting, it's the entertainment field, and there's a lot of backstabbers out there. So what I want you to do is keep a lot of the information. This is why I'm not going to get in depth.
Okay.
Mark, stay with us. We're coming up on another break. We're coming back more with Mark. This is America Weekend, and I'm Ed Kalengi.
America Weekend.
You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And live for your survive.
Welcome back to America Weekend. I'm Ed Kalengi, along with Christina Staffo. This is a very special hour of the show. Our guest is psychic, medium, and witch Mark Eadicicco out of New York City. And we are in the middle of Mark giving me my first, and obviously the most amazing, psychic and medium reading that I've ever had. We're at the part of the conversation where Mark has identified my spirit guard. And he's identified that as my father's uncle who passed away about a decade ago.
Served the Army?
He served, yes, he served in the Army in World War II.
Well, but he survived it, correct?
Yes, he did.
They're showing me sutures. Was he a doctor there?
He was.
You know? Or a nurse? Or
he was a medic.
Medic. Because they're showing me sutures and they're showing me gauze. They're showing me... this is actually him that's showing me this, because I'm getting like the energy to... what's with the 3 stars?
I think he received. I know he received awards for being for bravery, and he was awarded a Purple Heart. And I can remember my father talking about something about stars.
Okay, so now this is your dad.
My dad's uncle.
Who's Sigmund?
Sigmund was his brother.
Who?
Oh my God, Sigmund.
Whose brother?
My father's uncle Carl had a brother named Sigmund. And he has also passed.
He's passed as well?
Yes.
Okay. They're together. They're together on the other side as well.
Okay.
Because I feel as if sometimes, you know what? Sometimes we're believers. Sometimes we're not believers. I think after this conversation,
I'm a believer.
You'll have a little bit more, you know.
No, I'll tell you right now. We never talked about this before we went on the air. I'd never talked to you before. For you to pull that name,
I
Sigmund.
don't even know your last name.
No, you don't. You don't. And for you to know that, I tell you what, I am a believer. You know your stuff, and you have an amazing ability.
Oh, I'm so happy
An
right now.
amazing
You
ability.
just blew Ed's mind. Let me tell you
Really?
something. I
Oh, my
swear,
God.
This is amazing because I told him, I said, I have a guy. He is 100% legit. He knows his stuff. He is not like, because I'm sure there's frauds and stuff out there.
Of course.
He is not it. I said, he is 100% a psychic medium with ability. Like, he knows what's going on. And I was kind of giving him a little bit of personal detail about what we spoke about in my reading, and he was like, we got to have him on.
Wow.
Aw.
This is
amazing.
This is more
Told
than
you.
amazing. This
Told
is
you.
downright
Told you.
incredible. Oh my!
amazing.
This is Mark. I'm telling you, you literally blew my mind.
Can we do me
Thank
briefly?
you.
Yes.
Can we do me briefly?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Scorpio.
Scorpio, Christina. Okay. Okay, I don't know which one this is coming in for.
Okay.
Okay. They're showing me the Ziggy cartoon. So is this for Christina or is it for?
No, Sigmund's, and everybody called Sigmund Ziggy. That's what his nickname
kidding
was.
me? That's
No, I'm not. I am not kidding. No,
This is
I am
so
not.
funny.
Oh my God! Because whenever my father would talk about that uncle, it would be Uncle Ziggy. He had Uncle
amazing.
Carl and Uncle Ziggy. Oh
And
my
Uncle
God!
Ziggy, I got to write this down. It's got to go in my book. I'm in the motions of writing a book.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but of course we would change the names and all that good stuff. But they show, that's why it's like people will come to me all the time and say, can my friend sit in on the reading? Usually I don't allow it because sometimes I'll be reading you and something for Christina could pop in.
Okay.
And it kind of like confuses me a little bit
Okay.
with the readings. But it seems to be working out okay right now.
Yeah.
Because we're such a good combination.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why.
we're a good combo.
Exactly. You guys, you click. Now you guys have worked together before this.
We've worked in the same location for about 6 years. We've been working on this project together for about 6 months to a year.
Okay. This project is definitely coming in a positive way. Christina, with you, a lot of stuff with relationships are coming up as well.
Okay.
Now, again, it was your dad who passed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Again, I get that he's coming through to me, and again, he talks about, and it doesn't mean just because you and I talk about this that you have to do it, but he talks to me about the forgiveness, and he wants, when a soul passes, they actually see how they treated us or how they interacted with us through the person's eyes. So it's almost as if he's looking for forgiveness. Doesn't mean you have to do it. You do it on your own time. You grieve on your own time. And I tell this to everybody. I say, listen, I'm not God. I'm not a doctor. I'm an underpaid, psychologist. I have no degrees. This is just a vessel and a gift that I was blessed with. But I get a lot of relationships, and you've been doing a lot of hard work. So I don't know if your workload, Christina, has gotten more.
Yes.
But it's going to work out in the long run because they keep showing me gold and purple light around you. Gold and purple light is the color of, and it may sound weird or egotistical, but have you been been getting recognized more or been asked to do more on the show?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like, and we may have spoken about this in a private reading, forgive me for not remembering.
No, it's okay.
But I feel as if there's going to be that project and that start for you because I keep getting movement with you. There's lots of positive movement with you. And by Christmas, too, relationship-wise, too, I feel like it's going to be a whole new energy for you, a whole new set of holidays. The holidays in the past, you know what? Listen, I got the New York edge, so I could say it.
Yeah.
They kind of weren't the best.
Right.
These are going to get better. The set of holidays coming up are really going to open up a lot more for you. Now, your parents, they weren't together
No.
when your dad passed.
No.
But he's still telling me that your mother was the love of his life. No matter what happened and what went down, they were supposed to get together to make the children. You have other siblings as well?
No, just me.
Just you?
You know, it's so funny
Okay.
that you say that, because in the end of my father's life, he started reaching out to my mom, and he was saying things like that, like, the best times of my life are with you. I regret everything. I still love you. And my mom in the past has said, you know, if the only reason why I got together with your dad was to have you, then that was an okay reason.
That was enough.
That was it.
Yep. Because what I get is that you were actually supposed to come into this world, and what happens is the universe puts people together to bring the DNA together. And we just got out of the Mercury retrograde. And real quick, Mercury retrograde, if you know, a lot of people don't know about it, it's 3 weeks of hell.
Oh, is
Everything,
it? Okay.
Yeah, everything just goes haywire. So we
Interesting.
just basically came out of it. So if things, even with the project, kind of was a little haywire or delayed, or it wasn't going as fast as you wanted it to, and it just doesn't have to be that project. It could have been other projects as well. That was because astrologically, the planet Mercury was off kilter.
Okay.
Who has the connection to the mailman?
I
They
do.
told me mail.
Carl
You do?
Carl was a mailman.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm
on.
not kidding you.
Carl really wants to come through
Oh
today.
my God, Carl was a mailman for years and years.
He wants to come through today because he tells me, he goes, he gives the family signs and symbols, but what better, sign and symbol than today,
Yeah,
Sure.
this is
than
amazing,
getting validation from him that he's actually there.
unbelievable. I did
And let
not
me tell
expect
you,
this.
I'm not an early person. I woke up about a half hour ago.
See that?
I was hoping my voice didn't sound like Kathleen Turner.
No.
No, you sound great. You sound great.
Wow, this has been downright amazing. I mean, you have quite a gift, my friend. I mean,
Thank you.
and the way that you communicate what you are seeing and feeling is just downright amazing. I am a true believer.
And people,
Thank you.
do you do phone readings?
I love to do in-person readings, but if a person was too far, absolutely, I would do a phone reading because I feel that we need to share, the ability and the gift.
You have an amazing gift, my friend. Let me,
Thank you.
if someone wants to learn more about you,
Well, you can go on my website at www.practicalmagic, and it's just like it's spelled. It's PRACTICALMAGIC shop SHOPPE.net.
Once
Awesome.
again, he is a very gifted man. Mark Eadicicco, thank you so much for joining us here on America Weekend.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Pleasure.
The pleasure was ours. Stay with us. I'm Ed Kalegi.
I'm Christina Staffo.
And this is America Weekend from the Envision Radio Network.
America Weekend.